Hello my friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. I want to welcome you also to hashtag Tag Tuesday. So this is an open collab hosted by me and anyone's welcome to join in. So let me show you, I'll tell you more about that in a second, but let me show you, I would really like to share, I'm excited to share what I'm working on today. So I showed you in one of my last couple of organization videos where I'm trying to finish up some unfinished projects and just things that I have that I would like to use up and not put away, right? And just have them sit there. So I have, first of all, I'm going to use these, and there's a couple little bits and pieces. These right here are cross stitch pieces. These are bits and pieces. Let's see what else. This piece right here. I'm telling you, bits and pieces. This right here, and is that it? I think so. Yes, let me look at my cart. Yep, that top shelf. It was in the top shelf of my cart. So if I use up all these bits and pieces today, I will be making progress. So first of all, I made this little tag here before I turned on the camera. And if you can see, it's I was playing around and learning how to do embossing. And this background here is, you can see, is orange. That is actually a piece of a paper you use when you're sewing, and you put it down and roll your little serrated wheel on it, and it makes marks on your fabric, I think. And, you know, you put your pattern down. I used to see my mom do this. So you put your, I think you put your fabric, then these pieces of paper, then your pattern, and then your little wheel, and you roll over your fabric, and it transfers, the color transfers onto your fabric, and then you're able to cut out your fabric. Yes, I think I remember my mom doing that. So anyway, that's what this orange is here, and I embossed it, and it's so gorgeous. Anyway, I backed it with some green cardstock here that I had in my scrap box. I used up this little tag, this little kind of quote tag here on here, so that I can make an overall tag with it. And this was in my stack of goodies to use up in my top shelf there in my rolling cart, and this little piece was in there too. So those are two pieces I used up. Now I've got some file folder here so I can use up these pieces here. So I thought, I've already used a couple of these that were Christmassy when I made some Christmas tags, and it came out so cute, so I couldn't wait to do the same thing with these. So I'm going to cut around the little cross-stitched decoration here. This one says good home cooking. So be perfect for a little cookbook journal, right? But I want to go ahead and just use these up. So I cut these down a little bit, but I usually put this cross-stitch cloth, or Ada cloth, I believe it's called. I put these pieces, I don't throw them away, I put them in my scrap bin of fabric, because they can come in really handy for a lot of things. So here is a good shape for a tag. I'm just trying to think if it's too wide. I think I would like to cut it a little bit smaller, so just a couple little, there's lines on here, so a few more lines in here, and I think it would be perfect. So this little piece here I will throw in the trash because I'm not going to save a little sliver like that, but that'll be alright. Okay, so now another little sliver over here. Yeah, I would have cut it off in the first place if I would have known, but now I know for the next ones to cut it a little. I didn't want to cut it too close, you know, but better to cut it bigger than cut it too small in the first place, I always say. So can't put it back on as easy as you can take it off, right? There, that's perfect, I think. So there's one. So we're going to see if we can get all these done during this video. So let me pause and cut around these. That'll save us some time, and I'll be right back and show you my shapes. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all these pieces cut out, and you know, they all look like nice tag shapes. There's only 4, and so I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock here. This one's blank on both sides, so I don't have to worry about a label or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down with some fabric tack, since these are like fabric. But first I want to fray them a little bit, and this Aida cloth usually frays really easy. You just kind of grab a little piece of string from the top and pull it off, or from the bottom, whatever. So let's see if we can do that real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I like the little bit of fray you can get with this kind of fabric. So let's do that. Let me show you now. See, I pulled off quite a few pieces there, but see that little bit of fraying there? And let me do it at the top here. So there we go. I got a couple of strands there. Oh, that looks so nice when it's frayed. It really does. It makes quite a big difference than having it unfrayed. And then now a little bit on this side. It just makes a whole different look, gives it a whole different look. And it kind of gives it a finished look, I think, other than having it. Here's one that's not frayed. Look at that. And look at the difference in that. Doesn't it look so much better frayed? So I'm going to glue this one down. And it can be drying while I fray the others. So let me just get some fabric tack kind of all over here. I might or might not sew on these after I get them glued down and cut out. I don't know. I will decide what they look like when I cut them out. So I'm just going to glue these down real quick. So I'm going to do that to all of these pieces that I just showed you, all 4 pieces. Glue them down on a piece of file folder, which is, you know, cardstock. And I like to do that so that I have the writing room on the back. This one says friendship is a special gift. So I'm going to do these, fray these, glue these down, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me show you where I'm at. Let's see, I don't know where I left off. Where did I leave off? So I glued them all down. I frayed them, glued them all down on a file folder. And you can see they're all, and then I decided to go ahead and sew around them. So I did these 2 with zigzag. So I think that looks really nice as far as finishing them off. And then these 2 are straight stitch. And I did it with black thread so you could see it. I considered kind of matching thread like this color, but I thought, well, you know, I kind of really liked the thread you can see. And then I picked out some ribbons because I think I'm going to put some ribbon toppers on here because I think they look kind of like bookmarks right now and I want them to look like tags. So I got some little pieces of ribbon while I was paused that match. So I'm going to cut a little piece and see how I want to do the ribbon. I could just make a little loop and see what that looks like. Let's see if I make a little loop and I can go and sew it on. I think that would be cute. Or I can, sometimes I've done this where I kind of make a little crisscross like that and make a little ribbon like that. That's cute. Adds a lot to it. I could put a little stitch right through the middle there. Let's try that with this one. See how we like that. Let's see how I want to do this. And I like this. And this side. Okay. So I will put a little bit of glue on here and glue this down. And then that can be drying while we do the other ribbons. And then I can go sew a little stitch or something in to keep it on, you know, securely. So I'm going to glue it down like this. Get my strings out of here. Okay, let's try this like this. And so it'll be like that. And then I put a little bit more glue right here just to tack it down until I get to sew it. But I do want this to dry before I sew through it so it doesn't gunk up my sewing machine, if you know what I mean. So there we go. That's cute. Little crisscross bow or ribbon like that. Okay, so there's one. And I picked out yellow because I just like that touch of yellow on the blue, the background there. Plus there's some yellows, green, red and yellow in these little letters there, the thank you. So that's one. Let's see, how did I have this, I see how I had this wrapped up. Oh, this little hair, hair tie right here. I just got these out of my little drawer over there. If you've watched my organization videos, you have seen every bit of my craft room, and you know exactly where this came from. Maybe. So there we go. That's funny to me to think about. You guys know every bit of my craft room, or you can if you care to remember. So let's see. This was going to go, let's see. Yeah, green. This has green. This matches, matches, and this matches. Yeah. These are little chickens with their, like, it has little pieces of little yellow chicken feed there. So let's see how I want to do this one. Maybe a bow. Let's try a bow on this one. I'm going to tie a little bow here. I might have to do this more than once if I don't get it right the first time, but let me see what I can do. And I don't know if I can sew through this. I don't want to make it so thick that I can't sew through it. Put a little stitch through it at least to keep it on tightly and securely. So that's a little bit too big. Make that a little smaller. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be cute. Something can make each one different. Okay. So let's cut a little angle on these ends. So a little angle here, little angle here. Do that right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna put. Hope I can. If I can't sew that through that with my sewing machine, I might just put a little stitch through it with my needle and thread after the video. I'll have to see if that's too thick for my needle to go through. But for right now, a little bit of glue right here, or quite a bit of glue, so that I could almost just glue it down. That is cute. It adds a nice little touch to it, you know what I mean? So, oops, well that's not holding at all. Fabric to fabric, let's try that again. I will definitely have to sew this down because I can see that this Fabri-Tac is not going to hold it on, but I actually if I leave it alone and let it dry, that would help, right? Okay, so let me leave that alone, let that dry. Okay, next, let's see what we have here. Let's see, so I have this extra from the chicken ribbon. That's the chicken ribbon tag there, and I have these little rubber bands that I got at Dollar Tree are great for wrapping around things too and keeping them together. So put that back together. And now this one. Let's see, there's not very much here. I don't want to tie a bow. Let's put a little angle on the end at least. And we've got a little loop. Let's cut another angle here, the opposite angle. And this one, I just might, I don't know, let's see. Let me see. I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't think I want to do that. So I think actually I don't need angles. Let's cut it straight across on this one and go ahead and just glue it down like this on this one. Not too much. This is not too wide here. Probably not, just under an inch. So we'll do that. And put a little bit on the back. There we go. And the next one, this little friendship one here, little friendship tag. So on this one, I think I want to make a longer loop. So let's get a long piece and cut some angles on this one. See where we go with this one. Okay. Now, I wonder if I can kind of tie a little knot in the top. Kind of like a hanging loop. Let us see. We'll try it. There. It almost looks like a little bow, but it's a knot. See that? So it looks like a little bow almost. And then we'll just turn it right side out. And we will just kind of put a little bit of glue here, and then I'll sew through it when I go to my sewing machine. I'll tack it down a little bit. Have the little knot at the top here, much as possible. Okay, I'm just going to tack it down right in the middle. Okay, and let that dry for a minute while I sew on the other. So I will go sew on these and I'll be right back. Okay guys, hey, I'm back. I have finished sewing through the little ribbons. Everything's sewed on nicely. So here's what this one looks like. Let me show you up close. I think they came out really nice. They all have the, you can see the stitching, and they have the file folder on the back. Go to Home Cooking on that one with the little rolling pin. And they're all cross-stitched, so that is super cool. And they were already made for me because I found them at thrift stores, already made. Already cross-stitched, right? Isn't that nice of someone to do all that work and then give it to the thrift store? So here's this one with the chickens, and it's got little pieces of chicken feet on it. And I was able to sew through the middle of this little bow. My sewing machine didn't like it, but it managed. So that one they're all nice and secure. All the ribbons are sewn on. Here's this one with the yellow ribbon. Thank you. There's the stitching. And then this is the Friendship is a Special Gift. Here's the ribbon we made on that. Looks like a little bow at the top there, kind of, and then a little stitching through there. So I put a lot of ephemera in my shop, sometimes. So if you need anything like that or want anything like that, just check out my shop. I always have the link below. And oh, here's the other tag that I did with that embossed kind of sewing, tracing paper. So I think this one turned out really pretty too. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart. And that was a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. So, and that has green paper, so you can write on the back of that one. So, or cardstock. So anyway, I really enjoyed making these. Stay tuned. I only have left from that little pile that was on my top shelf of my rolling cart. These pieces right here to use up, so stay tuned to see what I do with those. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified. Hit that little bell so you can be notified of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.